Europe is now at war. Russia and Ukraine can fight at any moment. All eyes are on the Black Sea region. Will Russia reoccupy Ukraine? What should be Turkey's position in this war? Russia has amassed more than 1 lakh troops in Ukraine border. This is the highest number of troops deployed on the border since 2014. The Putin administration, however, has come up with its own interpretation. They claim that the deployment is part of a NATO counter-terrorism training exercise. A large Russian military presence has been observed on Ukraine's eastern border. Numerous tanks and military equipment have been gathered along with that. Putin of Russia is a mysterious character. It is very difficult to catch the tail of the movement of this clever statesman. Where America is currently withdrawing from the outside world, Putin, on the other hand, is extending his arm to the rest of the world. Russia's rival in Syria, Libya, is Turkey, but Trump-Erdogan clash has given Putin a big dollar by handing over arms to Turkey. Russia's military presence on the border has frightened its former republic, Ukraine. In 2014, Ukraine lost a significant part of its conflict with one of the world's largest superpowers. Turn to see, will the ball-headed go to the floor again? Ukraine says the number of Russian troops gathered on its eastern border is 40,000, with armored vehicles, tanks and artillery fleet. Moscow has also deployed 40,000 troops in Crimea, which was occupied from Ukraine 7 years ago, but Russia is speaking suspiciously. The idea is that they don't really want war. Russia's spokesman Dmitry Peskov claimed that no one has any plan to go to war. A threat was given. Even before the occupation of Crimea, Russian officials used to say such things. Let's go back a little bit. Donetsk is the east of Ukraine and Luhansk is the south. In 2014, pro-Russian separatists in 2 regions took up arms against the Ukrainian government. They introduced a separate regime they called the People's Republic. Russia came forward to occupy the Crimea in support of the rebels. So Russia's behavior is no longer trusted in Ukraine as much as Moscow is on its own interpretation. The presence of so many troops on the border can be seen as a preparation for another war. Voronezh, a city in western Russia. It is a city 250 kilometers from the eastern border of Ukraine. International media say a large number of Russian troops have gathered in the city. Another area in the southwest has seen a fleet of tanks and military trains. The satellite captured images of the construction of military installation in these 2 regions, including the 8th Guards Air Assault Division, which consists of Russian Air Force troops. This is the division that came to the aid of the pro-Russian rebels in 2014 and wreaked havoc in Ukraine. Apparently, this means that Russia is well on its way to another war. Ukraine's military is raising similar concerns. The country's top military official, Lieutenant General Igor Romanescu, has said that Russian President Vladimir Putin has made the initial decision to start a small-scale war in Ukraine's separatist regions. This doesn't mean that the war will start tomorrow. This means that Putin is creating the conditions for making the final decision. When Russia's advanced so much on the border, what is Ukraine preparing for? Ukrainian army digs border bunker. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky himself is rushing to the border to boost the army's morale. At the same time, political and diplomatic contacts with the allies are increasing. Allies have also begun to open their mouths. The United States has said that if Russia acts recklessly and aggressively, it will suffer the consequences. Ukraine wants the support of the countries bordering the Black Sea. Especially needs the support of Turkey because the way out of the Black Sea is owned by Turkey. This is also an important reason for Russia to give importance to Turkey. The Turks have the key to stopping the Russian trade by blocking this route. So Ukraine wants Erdogan to stand by them. Recently, the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, visited Turkey. He wanted Erdogan's support. Ukraine maintained warm relations with Ankara at a time when Turkey was facing criticism and blockade from the West over its purchase of S-400 missiles. They bought Turkish drones, even warships. Erdogan also has support for Ukraine on the Crimea issue. It is true that Turkey could have eased the bitter relations that developed with the Ukraine over the West, but the United States and NATO are a bit upset with Erdogan's dialectical game with Putin. Turkey buys Russian arms, fight Russia's interest in Syria and Libya. Turkey has its own limitations. It is not as easy to stand by Ukraine as it is to stand by Azerbaijan, because Russia is a direct opponent here, as it was not in the case of Azerbaijan. Erdogan doesn't want to risk a confrontation with Russia over the Ukraine issue, and for this reason he has stopped after the call to maintain a peaceful environment in the Black Sea region. Turkey is currently struggling with its economy. Tourism is a major source of income, and a huge part of the tourists come from Russia. Corona pandemic stopped Russian tourists coming to Turkey. Turkey also had huge trade with Russia. Erdogan absolutely doesn't want to lose Putin, but his trusting relationship with the United States is not in place.